For over 25 years, Blizzard has captivated millions of fans with its dedication to rich storytelling and its unwavering commitment to world building. With each new universe it creates, Blizzard forces us to ask one vital question: why should we care? And the answer almost always starts with its characters. There are way too many great Blizzard characters for us to give them all the recognition they deserve, but here are our picks for the top 25 best Blizzard characters. Illidan Stormrage was once an honored member of the Night Elves, until he betrayed his people and his lust for power. First introduced in Warcraft 3 as an exiled demon hunter, over the years Illidan became the very thing he originally hoped to destroy, succumbing to demonic corruption. Though he served as the main villain in World of Warcraft's Burning Crusade expansion and now as a pseudo-anti-hero type in the Burning Legion expansion, Illidan will always be best known for his opinions on whether you are or are not prepared.
You are not prepared!
Despite not having a game of their own for 20 years, the Lost Vikings are still some of Blizzard's most beloved characters. They existed a full year before the first Warcraft game, and helped make Blizzard the powerhouse developer that it is today. Garrosh Hellscream is perhaps the most iconic Warcraft character that didn't exist in the series' infancy. First appearing in World of Warcraft's Burning Crusade expansion, Garrosh rose quickly through the ranks of the Horde to War Chief, cementing his identity as the hyper-aggressive, warmongering maniac that fans love to hate.
Times change.
As an elderly but accurate sniper, Ana may be one of the most distinct FPS characters we've ever seen. The duality of her instincts, to protect and to kill, are apparent in her kit. She can heal you or harm you with a grenade or a blast from her rifle, then put enemies to sleep and stand over their bodies, tauntingly drinking tea. We witness you, Ana.
Bombs away!
Reno Jackson is the only Hearthstone-originating character on our list, entering the Warcraft canon in 2015 as part of the League of Explorers set. His battlecry was beyond powerful, getting early praise from the pros and eventually becoming so popular that an entire deck archetype sprang up around him. Responsible for all sorts of atrocities over the years, Deathwing has remained one of Warcraft's most enduring villains. He's killed his fellow Dragon Aspects, subjugated Alexstrasza, and caused the Cataclysm itself. Deathwing is truly hated by all, which made him one of the most memorable antagonists in all of Blizzard's worlds. Kel'Thuzad is the Lich responsible for spreading the undead plague in Lordaeron, but is perhaps best known by fans as the final encounter in the Naxxramas raid. Originally appearing in the vanilla world of Warcraft, Naxxramas was reused in Wrath of the Lich King as hardly anybody advanced to the point necessary to experience the raid the first time. Diva's hilarious backstory sets her up as a pro StarCraft player in Overwatch's not-so-distant future. On top of that, her implementation in the game is an absolute feat, essentially being designed as two separate characters in one, making her a testament to how out there Overwatch can be in both lore and gameplay. Uther Lightbringer is the epitome of a paladin. Mentor to Arthas Menethil, Uther watched in horror as his protege massacred the civilians of Stratholme in an idealistic bid to stop the Scourge and best his rival Mal'Ganis. Like any good mentor, Uther died a martyr at the hands of his fallen pupil. A conflicted character and a powerful psychic assassin, Zeratul bears the guilt of having led the Zerg to the Protoss homeworld of Ire. Instead of destroying him, that guilt motivates him to serve justice against those who have wronged him. In the end, he redeems himself with one of the most tragic sacrifices in all of Blizzard's lore. Ragnaros the Fire Lord isn't your average raid boss. With a fiery personality that's both fierce and just a bit over the top, he's a character so larger than life that he's spread his influence out of the Firelands into both Heroes of the Storm and Hearthstone in not one, but 4 different incarnations. Winston represents the heart and soul of the Overwatch game world, one of hope and progress instead of raw conflict. He's a scientist, not a soldier, and despite a dark and tormented backstory, he always aims to see the good in the world.
Enjoying the exhibit?
The first druid, the wisest and eldest of the Night Elves, and one of Warcraft's most powerful mortal characters. Over thousands of years, Malfurion Stormrage formed an unbreakable bond with all life on Azeroth, defending it and honoring it, and in doing so became a mythic figure to even the most powerful beings in the universe. His twisted relationship with twin brother Illidan Stormrage makes for one of the most compelling character relationships in games. To her people, Sylvanas Windrunner died a martyr, battling Arthas in an attempt to save the High Elf capital. In reality, Sylvanas never died at all, but was rather captured and twisted into the Banshee Queen. Eventually freeing herself from the grasp of the Lich King, Sylvanas overcame the burdens of her new form to lead the Forsaken, and eventually the Horde. Once the Archangel of Justice, now the aspect of wisdom, but above all the defender of mankind in the world of Sanctuary, Tyrael has been a guide and protector to players since the beginning of the Diablo series. Best known for his impressive, shimmering wingspan, deep authoritative tone, and ability to huck a sword over long distances, Tyrael still doles out justice in Heroes of the Storm and unifies mankind and angels as a mortal in the Diablo-verse. What started as one World of Warcraft guild's staged yet hilarious kamikaze run in 2005 has gone on to become one of the most recognizable events in the world of Warcraft. Leroy's eponymous catchphrase has become the stuff of legend, with Blizzard eventually including him as an NPC in WoW and a powerhouse card in Hearthstone. Of all the millions of players to ever set foot in the world of Warcraft, Leroy Jenkins is arguably the most famous. The character responsible for one of the most quotable lines in all of Blizzard's infinitely quotable universes. The late Deckard Cain is an everlasting icon of nostalgia.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
In life, his scholarly guidance and knowledge of obscure lore provided much-needed insight into the eternal conflict between the high heavens and the burning hells. By shepherding countless adventurers with prophetic advice and an always helpful identity spell, Deckard Cain indirectly saved the world of Sanctuary and all those in it. Rest in peace, old man. We'll definitely stay a while and listen. Beautiful, intelligent, and enormously powerful, Jaina Proudmoore is a bright beacon of light for the Alliance in the Warcraft universe. Displaying prodigious talent for magic from a young age, she's grown to become the most powerful human sorceress on Azeroth. Despite another case of losing her love to dark forces, in this case Arthas Menethil, her resilience, wisdom, and magic strength are the bedrock on which the Alliance is built in the Warcraft universe. Jim Raynor might appear just to be another arrogant backwater space cowboy, but he's a true Terran hero. Raynor is one of the few humans to ever forge a long-standing alliance with the Protoss, and displays an unerring commitment to justice, even in the face of his Zerg-infested love, Kerrigan.
Sarah, is that really you?
In tales of space aliens and hive-minded beasts, humans generally aren't written or acted this well, but Jim Raynor is among the best Blizzard has to offer. Fans of Warcraft have been able to witness the creation of Thrall's backstory in real time. His origins stretch back to the very beginning of Warcraft's popularity, and as such, Thrall is one of the most dynamic characters the universe has to offer. A gladiator, a shaman, a war chief, and now a wise old sage, Thrall has done it all, and fans have been eagerly keeping tabs every step of the way.
I am Thrall, son of Durotan, war chief of the Horde.
Though a mere puppet of the Burning Legion, few other characters in the mythos of Warcraft have had such a lasting impact on the world of Azeroth. Gul'dan can be attributed with the creation of the first Horde, the near extermination of the Draenei, and the invasion of Azeroth. The nefarious actions of this bitter warlock shaped the very foundation of Warcraft.
I will enjoy breaking you.
The original tragic Blizzard character is none other than the Queen of Blades. Her betrayal and apparent death in the original StarCraft is a pivotal moment in the Terran campaign, which made her transformation into the Zerg's leader equally defining. In StarCraft 2, thanks to the efforts of Jim Raynor and company, she became more of an anti-hero than a villain, wrestling with her humanity while forging a new path for the Zerg. Though no longer the feared villain she once was, she's easily more complex and interesting.
Arise, Diablo, Lord of Terror.
The only Blizzard character who serves as namesake for its franchise, and no, the Lost Vikings don't count, the Lord of Terror has tormented the would-be heroes of Sanctuary for decades. As chief antagonist of every base game in the series, Diablo eclipses his primeval brothers as the ultimate threat. Despite being banished at every turn, like Diablo says,
Not even death can save you from me.
So you can be sure we'll see him again at some point in the future, proving that both in-game and out, Diablo's here to stay. The face of Blizzard's mega-hit cooperative team shooter is a bright, optimistic Brit with a can-do attitude. Tracer's optimism and humor is emblematic of Overwatch. When many shooters are sunk in a gritty realism, Overwatch feels more like a polished Pixar movie come to life. She's also one of the first, and arguably most high-profile, unabashedly gay characters to head up a major gaming franchise. In an industry of faceless space marines, she's a breath of fresh air. Cheers, love.
Don't worry, loves. Cavalry's here.
In a universe hurtling toward cosmic, world-ending titans and ancient slumbering gods, Arthas Menethil topping this list speaks to how impactful he is, not only as a villain, but as a symbol of Blizzard's Warcraft universe. The best example of Blizzard's fallen hero turned insanely evil badass archetype, Arthas has it all: the tortured, patricide backstory, the icy, unflinching charisma, and the command of a nearly unstoppable army of undead horrors with which he conquered a large chunk of Azeroth. For these reasons and more, Arthas Menethil, the Lich King, is the most iconic and enduring character in all of Blizzard's storytelling.
You no longer need to bear the weight of your crown. I've taken care of everything.
If you like this top 25 list, be sure to check out our other list of the top 25 PC games. And for everything else Blizzard, keep it right here on IGN.